really developed into one of the best safeties you've coached.
He is. He's tough. He's physical. He doesn't get a lot of the credit that he deserves because he does the dirty work, man. He'll get in there, and he's gritty. And it would be pretty cool. I'd love to see. It'd be great if he could find a way to get an interception in this game. I think he'd be the first guy ever to have an interception against an opponent 4 times. So that'd be a pretty cool accomplishment. But he's just really every year gotten better. And he's just more detailed than he's ever been. He's just more confident, obviously more experienced. He's catching the ball. He's making plays on the ball, although he did have one I don't know if it was this past game or the game before where he had one right to him, but he's really made plays on the ball. But he's a physical tackler, and he's just very multiple. I mean, he's a good player. He'll make it at the next level for sure. He's like getting 3 guys on your roster, but he's really helped himself, and it's fun to see. He's the epitome of what you want your program to be about. You know, a guy that just comes in. He's a talented guy, but he's not a great football player yet at this level, and he just gets better and better and better and better and better. He's become a really good leader for us, and he's a Paul Journey ambassador. I mean, he's incredibly committed.
What can he bring to an NFL team?
Diversity. I mean, like I said, in the NFL, you're very limited on your roster spots, and he's like having 3 because he can play corner. He legitimately can play corner. He's played some corner for us, but he can play corner. He can play either safety. He can play nickel. He can play in your dime package. He can play in the box. He can tackle. I mean, he can cover. He's fast. He's a great special teams player. He brings a lot, and he's smart. He's smart. Got a great body. You know, he's durable. Stays healthy. So it takes care of him. That's a reflection of how he takes care of himself. He brings a lot, and he's a winner. This guy all he's done is win, you know, since he's been here. So he's got the mindset. He's going to bring that mindset to wherever he goes as well.
When he and Isaiah and Tanner decided to come back last January, did you recognize right away how big that was for this year's?
Yeah. And when Isaiah is the poster child for why you come back, you know. He's somebody who drafted him last year. He'd probably been second, third round guy, just on his athleticism, and he got a chance to be a top 10 pick if he can finish. He's special, and you know that he's the poster child of why you come back, and he wanted to come back. He knew he needed to get better. He didn't want to go in red shirt, because that's what would have happened. He'd have been playing special teams and kind of he needed to develop some more. And he needed to become more consistent and just really grow his knowledge base, and that's what he's done. He's just really matured, and I'm super proud of him. He's the most unique guy I've had defensively, and same thing with Kayvon and Muse. Muse has helped himself probably more than anybody because he needed to clean up some things, become more consistent. He's a very fast guy. He's more of a straight line guy, but he's going to have to play in the box at the next level. You know, he's not going to be a safety. He might be a dollar guy, but he's going to be more of a Willie. And his physicality and his ability. Watching him, that Boston College game was awesome, and seeing him form tackle a 250-pound back in the hole. He's very smart, great instincts for the game. He covers up his weaknesses because he's just so instinctive and so smart, knows what to do. And so he's been a very productive safety for us, and he's a great special teams player. So he's a guy that, like Kayvon, in a different way, is going to bring a lot of diversity to a team. And he can run, but I think he will transition, and especially where the game is going now. There's a lot of 11 personnel, but yet he's physical enough to play 12 personnel. So I think he's got a bright future. Those guys have really helped themselves.
You mentioned comments about how Alabama was maybe distracting before last season. What was your reaction?
I ain't my comments. That's all the other comments. Ain't my comments.
What was your reaction when you heard that?
I just laughed. Well, there's really nothing to say. I mean, I don't know what the big deal. We were just the better team that day. They were great. They were an unbelievable team. Oh, my gosh, unbelievable. But that day, we were just the better team. The year before, they were the better team. We weren't distracted or tired, or they just whipped us. They're the better team. And, I mean, we could have won the game, but we just didn't play well enough. We didn't deserve it. And, you know, there's no excuses. We just got beat. So I just laughed. Thought it was funny.
Dabo, it's a little bit off track, but where do you stand on Friday night college games? Are you?
I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I don't have a vote. Don't get to say. I mean, all I can do is answer your question. I don't like them, but you know, I like high school football. You know, I like seeing my sons play. I had missed one a couple years ago, and we played on a Friday night. But you know, I mean, it just TV dictates all that, and you don't really have much say in it. So I don't sit around and worry about it. But to answer your question, I'm not a fan.
Can you bring any of that up at coaches' meetings?
Oh, that's been brought up 1,000 times over the last decade. It's been brought up many times. High school associations write in and bring it up. Everybody brings it up, but it's, you know, it's just not something we have any control over.
As a guy who, at the end of your second full year, I think you have said many times about you were a little worried about your job security. What do you take from seeing the change at Florida State that quickly?
Man, you know, well, first of all, I don't know I'm not there, so I have no idea what, you know, I mean, whoever's making those decisions, they know a lot more than I know. I don't know. I'm just glad I didn't get fired after 21 games, you know, 13-8. So glad they hung around. I'd have been real cheap to fire too. I think they'd have just called U-Haul. That's all I had in my contract. I didn't even read my first contract. Literally, they handed it to me and I went, "Where do I sign?" I didn't have no agent. I just signed it. I had no idea what was in my first contract. And that's the true story. I didn't have a clue what he was going to pay me. I think he paid me $800,000, and I didn't have a buyout. I think he had like a longevity fund that if I was still the head coach in like 20 years, I might get $500,000 if they fire me or something like that. I don't know. But if I didn't even read it. So I'd have been real cheap to get rid of after 21 games. So I'm just thankful to Terry Don that he believed in me. And, you know, I mean, it takes, there's no magic wand, especially if you're going to do it right. You know, and my philosophy early on was, you know, we're not going to sign junior college players. I'm not taking transfers. We're going to build our program, you know, and we're going to you know, create a culture. I knew what I wanted to do, and it's not easy. But, you know, I mean, at least we did win the division the first year and played for our championship. That was fun and exciting and a little bit of progress. And then second year, we won 6 games, tough year. Lost 5 by 6 points or less, 2 of them in overtime. You know, at Auburn, who won the Natty, at Florida State with 2 seconds. They hit a 55-yard field goal to win it. But we were competing. We were getting better. The team was growing. And we come back the third year and win the league. And won 10 games. Even though we were kind of like this down the stretch, you know, we didn't know how to win. We didn't know how to handle success, you know. We were 8-0, and we got bubble busted at Georgia Tech, and then we went up and laid an egg at NC State. And, you know, we had to kind of learn and grow, you know. And we did. We got better and better. And, you know, but it takes time. And since that point, since 11, we've gone. But those first 2 years, man, I literally first 21 games, I was 13-8 as a head coach. So sometimes you just gotta be patient. But having said that, I don't know what the situation. Maybe there's things there that I don't know. I don't know why people make decisions the way they make them. But that's just kind of the world we're in. And we all know that. All coaches know that. You're only as good as, you know, the game you're coaching.
We talked to Rook yesterday, and he was kind of talking about how he didn't start playing until his junior year of high school and things like that. What did you see from him recruiting-wise?
Same thing with Ruben. Both of them didn't start. You know, they were soccer players. Rook was a basketball player. Ruben was a soccer player, and he just finally kind of outgrew soccer, and they got him out there to football. I think he either played 10th or 11th grade. I think it was 11th grade year too for ET, but Rook was 11th grade. Just a big athlete. Nobody knew anything about him, and one of them guys that you get a call on somewhere in the process, and you look at him, you go, "Ooh, man, he's got some natural stuff," and then go up there and see him, and then he you know, comes to camp and all those things. You get a chance to work with him a little bit more, and but just a big raw athlete that has a good mindset and was, you know, came from a well coached school, and so, you know, just one of those guys that you know, we had a mass exodus in the D line, and we were trying to find some big bodies, and he's a little bit of a hybrid guy. Kind of, you don't know which way he's going to go, but I like Root. I think he's got a chance to be a really good player, but he's still got a lot of developing to do. But he's got natural stuff. I mean, some of the things he has you just can't coach. I mean, he's got a good motor. He's physical. He's got natural raw strength, but he's got to learn the game, and so it's just a daily process. And you know, but we'll look up 4 years from now and like, wow, look how far this guy's come. So if he'll stay with it, if he'll stay with the journey, he's got the tools to make it.
You mentioned that Travis is thunder and lightning. I'm just curious, what do you think Spiller would do in today's offenses with the supporting cast?
Yeah, well, you know, as good as Travis is, and as many touchdowns, I know he's tied Spiller's touchdown record, 51, and he broke James' rushing record. But you got to remember now, I think Travis 50 yards or more. I think Travis has like 8 or 9. There you go. And C.J. Spiller had like, there you go. I was going to say 30. All right, 21 plays of 50, and he was just so explosive and just dynamic. I mean, I don't know that we really had a true appreciation for how good that guy was. If he was in this deal, woo, man, it'd be unbelievable. I mean, his all-purpose, I don't know, it's probably a record or close to a record in the NCAA.
1,700 yards more than any other ACC player.
There you go. There you go. I mean, it's unbelievable, you know, what Spiller was able to do. Travis is just different, though. You know, I mean, Spiller was a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he just beat you in so many ways. And you know, Travis is a little more blue collar. You know, he's not quite Swiss Army. He's one of them. He's Phillips head and flathead. You know, he's that. That's it. But man, is he effective? And just built differently, bigger. He's bigger than CJ, just a lot thicker. And CJ was about 195 here, and Travis is about 208, and he'll probably max out about a 218 type back at the next level. You know, again, his upper body still hadn't quite caught up with his lower body, but he's going to be a great player for a long time. Durable, you know, tough. You know, Spiller ran around him and by him, and nobody could have made him miss, and he was Houdini. Travis just runs through him, and it's just yards after contact, yards after contact, yards after contact. You know, that's what makes him, to me, just amazing. If you just sit down and you count the yards after contact, whereas Spiller just, you know, in a phone booth make you miss, and then he'd outrun you. And Travis has got that type of home run ability. He's got that James Davis, you know, collision balance as well with the speed. Special. And now he needed to develop as a receiver, and he's really worked hard on that. And he's just more of a complete player than any other time in his career. So super proud of him. But yeah, I'd like to have that old number number 28 back in this deal. It'd be a lot of fun.
You talk about him developing as a receiver. Obviously, you've tried to run Trevor a little bit more this year too. How much are you kind of those could be weapons for you today, but B, like as those guys move on to the next level, like it's good to have some of those skills more ready and developed when they get there. Is there a little bit of like making sure they're prepped for what's going to be asked of them at the next level?
Yeah, I mean that's our responsibility as coaches is to give our guys the tools they need for what comes after football, and that's on and off the field. And that's why we make a big deal about our career placement. And we make a big deal out of that. We want them all, whether they're going to the NFL or going to a job, we want them to be prepared and have the opportunity to go be successful. So it's a lot of fun to see a lot of our rookies go and be successful. And the reason that happens is because they are prepared, and it's a whole nother level for them and of growth. But to see a lot of our young guys go in and make early contributions, it just speaks to their development. Whether it's Deshaun Watson, going in and winning a job after one half of football at the next level, or it's a Hunter Renfrow, who's making a game winner in an NFL game. Same things he did here. Or you look at Dexter last night, just blowing up the middle of the offensive line. It's pretty cool to see those guys have that type of success.
Speaking of, what do you make of Deshaun's post-game press conferences that he's had?
I have not watched his press conferences. I don't know what am I missing.
He's breaking down plays like.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That was a few weeks ago. Yeah, well, somebody asked him about cover 4 or something, and he was trying to break it down for him. But I talked to him. It's amazing. This was amazing. This is unbelievable. In fact, I'm driving to Greenville. We had recruiting weekend this weekend, so we had dinner in Greenville Sunday night, and I'm on my way to Greenville, and I get a text from Deshaun Watson. I just watched him. We had just watched him play at the house earlier in the day, and we were having lunch over there, and they're in London, and I get the text message from Deshaun, and I'm like, what's up? So I read his text, and he sent me a picture of him hurdling a dude. You remember the Natty when he went to the right and he hurdled that Alabama player, and they called him out at the pylon, and then he scores the next play. Well, he sent me that picture, and then under it he sent me a picture of him hurdling a Jaguar player and goes out. They call him out at the pylon, and then he scores the next play. And he's like, same end zone, same side of the end zone, and same guy. And I'm like, what? And so I call him, and he answers the phone. He's on a plane. They're getting ready to come out. And I said, no way. That was not the same guy. He goes, oh, yeah, same guy from Alabama. And I'm like, what? It was crazy. So little history repeating itself. So he thought that was pretty cool to send that. And so I just, he's doing great, proud of him. Just try to text with him and keep up with him. And but I thought that was pretty neat that he sent that. And he actually had the picture. What's that?
You feeling pretty good about your Jordan comparison? Watching the film?
Listen, the whole Jordan thing came about. Sometimes I say things, y'all know that I'm in the moment, and the whole Jordan thing came about because the Bulls had the third pick when they took Jordan. The Bears had the third pick, and that's the only reason that came up is because I'm like, man, you don't take him, you're passing on Jordan. That's kind of was my, and that just kind of took on a life of his own. But I meant it. I didn't mean he's Michael Jordan. I just meant he's a winner and a killer like that. I mean, that guy's, he's got a will to win that is rare, and you just only see that every now and then. And that when I think of that, I think of Jordan. I mean, Jordan was, he's going to claw your eyeballs out to win. And it didn't matter if he won 6 championships or whatever. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was game 50 of 80 or game 3 of 80. He was going to claw your eyeballs out to win a game. And, that's why I always loved Michael Jordan. He played defense. He stole the ball. If the ball wasn't going in the hoop, he was going to find a way to beat you. He'd rebound. He was just a winner. And that's what Deshaun is. And I just was, trying to. That was the only way I could, and it came because they had the Bears had the third pick, and the Bulls had the third pick, and somebody, I think it was somebody from, I don't remember who, I think it was somebody from Chicago at the Senior Bowl that asked me the question, and I just said, like, what if you don't? I'm like, well, you pass it on Jordan, I mean, that's all I meant, but it just took on a life of its own. So I had to call Deshaun and say, hey, man, I'm sorry. I've put you, and he's like, it's all right, so anyway, he's pretty good.
Have you ever met Michael Jordan?
One time, but he doesn't know me. I'd love to meet Michael Jordan, like today's version of Dabo, where he might actually go, aren't you that coach from Clemson? I met him on my bachelor party. Yeah. So it was a clean bachelor party. I was a GA at Alabama, and he was playing for the Birmingham Barons. And so I had gone up a couple times to watch him play baseball with the Birmingham Barons, which was really cool. And he had bought the team a bus, and those AA guys were riding around in style. And I was disappointed that he had retired. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I mean, what are we doing here? It was like when Barry Sanders retired. Like, what is going on? And but he's going to play baseball, but it happens at the Barons, and I'm 40 minutes from the Barons, and I'm from Birmingham, so he'd play at the Hoover Met, and got to see him play a couple times there. And but my bachelor party, all my buddies. Sometime in July, we got married July 9th, so we went to Birmingham, and we hung out, and they ended up taking us to, I want to say it was called Jitterbugs. It was a little dance club at the Holiday Inn off of Green Springs Highway exit there in Birmingham. And so we're just hanging out, and my brother, so we go to Jitterbugs, but I'll never forget it when we walking up, there was this car parked right at the front door, and it had like MJ23, like a Mercedes or something, and I have a picture of it actually. But I remember going in. I'm like, Michael Jordan's in here, So some of the Barons were in this little dance place, and it was just a bar dance club. And so we all go in there, and I'm like looking. I'm trying. Sure enough, I saw him in the back. He's in the back bar area, and he's like, this high over everybody else in the place, and I'm like, I'm going to meet Michael Jordan. And I did. So I walked back there, and he's just kind of, and I just walked. I said, I introduced myself. I said, hey, I'm a coach at Alabama, and just, always admired you, and just wanted to say hey. And he was super nice. And I didn't ask him for a picture. I didn't want to do that. But my buddies had the camera, the roll them. You roll it, a little Big B, Eckerd's camera thing. They were waiting. And as soon as I kind of got over there, they took a picture. And so I got a picture. He's like looking, and I'm like, So that's the only time I met Michael Jordan. So maybe that'll happen one of these days. That'd be awesome. He's the best.
You really never know where these press conferences are going.
Hey, you asked the question. I just try to answer it. Anything else?
Thank you.
All right.